If you wish to make Pythocles rich, do not add to his store of money, but subtract from his desires. It is not easy to keep silent when silence is a lie. Mankind is made of two kinds of people: wise people who know they're fools, and fools who think they are wise. This is how you start to get respect, by offering something that you have. There's nothing wrong with not understanding yourself. The first splendid truth: to be happy, I need to think about feeling good, feeling bad, and feeling right, in an atmosphere of growth. The power to change your life lies in the simplest of steps. The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. I'd found out that if you push people away hard enough, they tended to go. If you are willing to go out on a limb, the tree of life holds endless possibilities. Whether you try too hard to fit in or you try too hard to stand out, it is of equal consequence. You exhaust your significance. Crying can bring relief, as long as you don't cry alone. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. If something is important, it deserves to be experienced deeply. Edit your life frequently and ruthlessly. It's your masterpiece after all. We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand. Anything that doesn't take years of your life and drive you to suicide hardly seems worth doing. Use the wings of the flying universe, dream with open eyes, see in darkness. My eyes were glued on life and they were full of tears. Try it before you doubt it, because it might just be for you. Very occasionally, if you pay really close attention, life doesn't suck. It isn't where you came from, it's where you're going that counts. Every decent con man knows that the simplest truth is more powerful than even the most elaborate lie. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. At the time, my life just seemed too complete, and maybe we have to break everything to make something better out of ourselves. If your desire is for good, the people will be good. I believe that a scientist looking at non-scientific problems is just as dumb as the next guy. Our kindness may be the most persuasive argument for that which we believe. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Mama used to say, you have to know someone 1,000 days before you can glimpse her soul. To all of you here, I wish you a very happy new year, and I look forward to seeing you in 2022. All the best. If you ask me what I came to do in this world, I, an artist, will answer you. I am here to live out loud. The real question of life after death isn't whether or not it exists, but even if it does, what problem this really solves. Now this might disturb you, but I find I'm okay by myself, and I don't need you or your benevolence to make sense. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Make the most of yourself, for that is all there is of you. Sometimes letting go is simply changing the labels you place on an event, looking at the same event with fresh eyes. Happiness is part of who we are. Joy is the feeling. Kananji yang lalu, hadapi yang baru dengan penuh kesabaran. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. Life is too short or too long for me to allow myself the luxury of living it so badly. To be independent of public opinion is the first formal condition of achieving anything great. I do maintain that if your hair is wrong, your entire life is wrong. Illegal aliens have always been a problem in the United States. Ask any Indian. We should not judge people by their peak of excellence, but by the distance they have traveled from the point where they started. Down with hell and heaven and all the religious fuss infinity pleased our parents 1 inch looks good to us. I was within and without, simultaneously enchanted and repelled by the inexhaustible variety of life. Expectations make people miserable, so whatever yours are, lower them. You'll definitely be happier. The gods are fond of the cryptic and dislike the evident. Emulate good behavior that when you encounter people from your past, you won't have to hide yourself away. I know I'm not going to be in your head all the time, but once you know me, I'll be forever in your heart. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. Every challenge, every adversity, contains within it the seeds of opportunity and growth. I would rather die of passion than of boredom. If a man could have half of his wishes, he would double his troubles. Never do anything that you can't admit doing, because if you are that ashamed of whatever it is, it's probably wrong. Everything you want in life is a relationship away. If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing badly. A strange thing, words. Once they're said, it's hard to imagine they're untrue. All you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know. If thinking should precede acting, then acting must succeed thinking. You must find the place inside yourself where nothing is impossible. I believe in looking reality straight in the eye and denying it. I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. Tongues and trees, books and running brooks, sermons and stones, and good in everything. If you feel obsessed to prove something to the world, then you'd need world attention to be able to prove it. The older I grow, the more I distrust the familiar doctrine that age brings wisdom. Deeply respecting yourself is the first step toward having a deep respect for others. Trust the soul above all things, for it is made by the divine hand and woven with threads of truth, eternity, and light. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. Try your best not to make people sad if you can't make them happy, because some people may be passing through tough time in life. Owning land is like owning the ocean or the air. No one owns land. You have to realize that you are everything and more just on your own. The moment you stop trying to become a better person is the moment you start to become worse than what you already are. If you try and lose, then it isn't your fault. But if you don't try and we lose, then it's all your fault. You cannot be fair and correct at the same time. Fairness, often, takes the lesser correct of the roads. Interconnection permeates the entire universe. We are all one. Bad men rule by the feebleness of the ruled, and this is just. The triumph of weaklings would not be just. The right thing at the wrong time is the wrong thing. It is much harder to lie to someone's face, but it is also much harder to tell the truth to someone's face. It can take years to mold a dream. It takes only a fraction of a second for it to be shattered. We may place blame, give reasons, and even have excuses, but in the end, it is an act of cowardice to not follow your dreams. Bertara Makasalapada Segala Yang Membri Kahijapan. If your absence doesn't bother them, then your presence never mattered to them in the first place. A conscious human is driven by their conscience, not popular opinion. Whoever said that the past isn't dead had it backward. It's the future that's already dead, already played out. Go after what you want in life. Don't just talk about it. Take a step, run. Humility is nothing but truth, and pride is nothing but lying. You may tend to get cancer from the thing that makes you want to smoke so much, not from the smoking itself. Tell them a lie big enough, they'll worship you as a sage. Tell them a truth big enough, and they'll mock you. When life places stones in your path, be the water. A persistent drop of water will wear away even the hardest stone. Grace isn't a little prayer you chant before receiving a meal. It's a way to live. Maybe this is why we read, and why in moments of darkness we return to books, to find words for what we already know. Good authors worry about genres, great authors don't. In the high country of the mind, one has to become adjusted to the thinner air of uncertainty. But every difference of opinion is not a difference of principle. Our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. People are not lazy, they simply have impotent goals, that is, goals that do not inspire them. Where there is anger, there is always pain underneath.